Hey, what's up, YouTube? And welcome to Lords of the Late Box. Sorry, we're running a little late today, boys and girls. But we got notes came a little bit late, but we got the whole squad here to go over the cover price shakers. And as usual, we're running a little bit late, so we just don't have enough time to play any music for you.
No.
It's a man, mad world. It's a man, mad world. It's a man, mad, 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 mad world. It's a man, mad world. It's a man, mad world. It's a man, mad, 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 mad world. Baby, talk. Baby, talk. Baby, talk. Baby, talk.
Sorry, Jimmy Woo. We had to bump you to next week, just like Matt Damon on the Jimmy Kimmel Show. Sorry, got running a little bit late, so I had notes running up to the very last minute. All three of you guys just say what's up at once.
What's up, everybody?
Yo.
Yep, that's the salutations right there. The show sponsored by our friends over at CovrPrice.com. This list comes from our friends at CovrPrice, focusing on new sales or the most interesting sales found on their daily's exclusive shakers list. This list changes several times every day, and make sure you check it out every day to review some of the hottest trending books on the market. And damn it, I still have a list because I lost a tooth. This is I realized that. But hey, what's going on, everybody? I hope you guys are enjoying your Thursday afternoon, evening. God, I just realized, and then somebody just said tonight at midnight, I think we got to see Sandman. I'm fucking stoked for that.
August already.
Hell yeah.
Over, depending on where you're at. Some kids are already back in school.
Yeah.
That's crazy, right? I remember when I was a kid, school started in September.
Well, yeah, because you're in Southern California, the same place I was.
Yeah.
But I know here in Vegas, currently, in some places, it's like August. They go back to school.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah,
That's all crazy.
No, September.
Anyway. Let's get right to it, boys and girls. This list is very, very unique and interesting. And I'll give a disclaimer before we show one of the books, because there may be some questionable content. If you're easily offended or if you have small children watching the show, what are you doing with your parenting skills? I don't think so anyway, let's get right to it, boys and girls. What do we have for the first shaker?
All right. First up today, we got a classic one. Amazing Spider-Man issue 607, but the newsstand edition, originally published in 2009 from Marvel. Now, Amazing Spider-Man 607 has become one of J. Scott Campbell's most famous covers, right next to ASM 606. Now, while these issues weren't his first on Spider-Man, his rendition of Black Cat put Campbell on the map as a go-to cover artist. His connection to Black Cat is still highly entwined. With those factors in mind, a recent newsstand CGC 9.4 sold for a huge $600 this week. You know, the all-time high is 1,005 for a 9.6 in March of 2021. Now, this comic came out during the end of the newsstand era, making it one of the most rare ASM comics you can find in newsstand. ASM 606 and 607 are probably one of the greatest 1-2 punch comic covers you will find, and they weren't even variants, just your standard old A cover comics.
Well, shit, I got to rethink it. Now I think I don't have a newsstand. I have
Ooh.
a direct market. So,
Ooh,
damn, I'll take
take
away
that
my
off.
one for one. Yeah.
Take away for you
Jeez.
that one for one.
Yeah, damn. Here, let me let me
I just
go.
like how they
There-
mentioned how nobody really knows about this series other than just the fact of the covers. Like, I don't know if
Yeah.
I can even remember the storyline for this other than just the J. Scott Campbell covers.
actually he did some of the internal art on the Amazing Spider-Man run.
When
I don't
J.
know if
Michael
it was-
Straczynski first started, I think he did the first couple of issues. Yeah, that's when
Yeah.
Peter Parker was a school teacher and stuff.
Yeah, and J. Scott Campbell. Let's just keep the covers because I don't the way he draws men makes they don't look like like you know what I'm saying. I don't know. He draws
Yeah.
women great.
He draws
but,
draws it very effeminate. He's very
Yeah,
up to
to
female.
say,
art,
you
so
know,
he
I'm
does
kind
a
of-
very soft line. You could say.
Exactly, yeah. But for some reason, J. Scott Campbell and the Black Cat always seem to be intertwined together. So there you go, man. Amazing Spider-Man 607, the newsstand. And anytime we talk about newsstand and direct stand, let's look at 2009, what the ratio was. Wow.
Between 2
That's
and 1%.
from 2005, it was 2%
Wow.
newsstand. Holy cow.
Yeah, those are the newsstands that people need to show off on their Instagram pages. Not the hey, look at this newsstand book I got from 1975. Like, that's-
Right.
Exactly,
you're
where they were
missing
mostly
out on that.
newsstand. Exactly, yeah.
That means
All
it's-
right. I'm going to give you guys 10 seconds to take, if you have children or are easily offended, to get out of the room. I'll just throw some type of little graphic up here because, there may be some drugs or boobies involved, but 5.
There's
So
definitely
if you
drugs
have your kids
involved.
around, put on the old, what do they say, earmuffs, or actually make them close their eyes too, because this book is
Look
out
at the
there,
floor.
man.
That's what my dad did when I would go to movies.
Look at the floor. There you go. Next up on the list is this is a crazy ass book.
So this is a proof of life book because I do want to see if people have these. Throw them up on your Instagram. This is Cocaine Comics number 3. This is January 1st of 1981. At first glance, this may seem like just another weird indie comic book. Another comic book featuring the devil surrounded by naked women. That's a fair assessment. However, it's also one of the most popular and sought after underground comics. The cover by indie legend Robert Williams may not feature a household name to most comic fans. However, Williams worked alongside creators like Robert Crumb to usher in the new genre of comics that featured a weird mix of anti-establishment and social deviance. The underground comic movement was the antithesis of the comic book's code. Following in the footsteps of their pre-code horror trailblazers, books like this pushed the limits of what could be done in comics and what we as an audience would consider as art. While many comic fans devour popular superhero comics, diehard comic fans looking for more adult storytelling turn to these underground and indie titles. What's also interesting about this comic and all 4 issues of the series is that they all contain stories and internal art from George DiCaprio, father of Leonardo DiCaprio. George was instrumental in distributing underground and indie comics through the West Coast for most of the 70s and 80s, placing him in the heart of increasing exposure of these anti-superhero comics, challenging creators and opening the door for companies like Image Comics and every other indie publisher since. With this issue, a new high of $300 for a CGC 6.5. Expect underground books to follow the likes of pre-code horror in the future. They're not easy to find and suffer from terrible paper quality. This particular issue had a print run of 10,000 copies, which may sound like a lot, but these had little to almost no market value for decades and floated in the XXX adult section of comic book stores forever, deteriorating away. Iconic underground comics like Colt King Comics #3 are only going to see an increase in value.
God, forget the boobies. The devil doing rails on the cover
Right?
is
Straight
crazy.
up rails.
This is such an odd thing because I saw like my friends from Torpedo posting that they have these on sale now. So they just a nice coincidence to see that this book is still out there. But
how much is
they're
selling?
hard to find in good shape because these are all like these are the kind of books that were sold like at head shops and stuff like that. People just
Exactly.
you know
Yeah.
just probably just broke up their weed on it and then threw it away or something.
We need to explain to children what head shops were before, because now it's
Now.
legalized. You know, I meant, but that's wild that Leonardo DiCaprio's father was involved in this, right? That is such wow, great research, man. But yeah, so if you have this, and we need proof of life, besides anybody that works at Torpedo. Since they have it, but yeah, I remember there was a weird documentary about Robert Crumb. Have you guys
There's
ever
a few
seen
out
it?
there. Yeah, there's one
Yeah.
out there that's really sad because it talks about his brother.
Yeah. No, this one was an older one where it
Okay.
just talks about him and he's kind of like this, really skinny dude, but he's like, loves women. He's kind of perverted, but it's not the sad one you're talking about, because I remember seeing it like way back when, like. Robert, for those who don't know who Robert Crumb is, Google it. It's worth a Google, as they say. So, Cocaine Comics issue #3 from Last Gasp came out on January 1st, 1981. Odd day to come out on, right? On New Year's Day. But anyway, let's continue with the kind of darkness. What do we got for number to the next one?
How about some Evil Ernie #1 from Malibu Comics from 1991? So Evil Ernie is on fire lately. Recently, the straight up evil telepathic supervillain has been enjoying a serious revival, but he wasn't always that way. A child who manifested powers and was substantially abused connects with a wide fan base, one that has some deep pockets. A fan of the evildoer recently dropped $3,120 for a CGC 9/8, an all-time high sale by about $1,100. That's some serious cash to drop on a rare indie book with only 38 total copies in CGC 9/8 on the CGC census. It is the price for a fan who was willing or had to pay to secure this elusive book in the high grade. The last 9.8 sold in 2020, which is an eternity ago, as we emerge on the other side of the comic boom. On top of that, his first preview appearance in Malibu Sun #8 saw an all-time high of $700 for a raw copy sold last week, which is still crazy for a raw book. Evil Ernie has been making a comeback in a major way of late when Dynamic Comics released a new series to commemorate his 30th anniversary last year. Fans of the characters in series were ecstatic to experience new Evil Ernie and Lady Death escapades, while mainland squeaky clean characters have been enjoying his high sales themselves. They should keep a lookout for old Evil Ernie creeping up behind them to dispense his patent forms of tomfoolery.
Yeah, not only first appearance of Evil Ernie, but first appearance of Lady Death. And Evil Ernie kind of went to the wayside of the 90s, but Lady Death kind of continue on. You know what I mean? Because, everybody loves the bad girl. And you can't you can't change my mind that they base this is off Iron Maiden's Eddie.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Come
definitely.
on, man.
You know what I mean?
Put a guitar in his hand right now.
Yeah, for you true metalheads, you guys know what I'm talking about. Have you ever been to Iron Maiden show? There used to be this big giant thing. He's on every damn cover, basically. My favorite is Aces High on and he's basically this. He's just this kind of a symbol for it. And if you go to a Maiden show, they have like giant, like evil, inflatable Ernie or Eddie looking things. It's pretty crazy, man. Shout out to our buddy Matrix Comics for the $10 super chat. Ernest
Ooh.
Fairchild, appreciate the support, brother, on both YouTube and Instagram, man. There you go. But yeah, that's definitely Eddie. But you know what? This is the perfect time for this type of comic to be developed into the big screen. Ambiguous heroes, or excuse me, anti-heroes. I mean, we have Stranger Things, all this kind of dark stuff that's happening right now. I think an Evil Ernie movie would definitely happen. I'm trying to remember, was there a Lady Death movie that was really awful? Oh, no, that was Vampirella. There was a really cheesy Skinaflix movie. Remember Skinamax movie?
Yeah.
There was a Vampirella version done by like the Queen of B movies. I forgot her name. So
Lisa
anyway, we
Soto
go.
was in that. Or no,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the girl from Wayne's World.
Look at
Yeah.
you go, Gabe. That's incredible.
So Evil Earner issue number 1 from 1991. Horns up! I should have played my Master of Puppets, but we go from Evil Ernie to Disney. Perfect segue.
What a segue. What a segue. Next up, we've got Haunted Mansion issue number 1, the Scotty Young variant, originally published in 2016 from Marvel. Welcome, foolish mortals, to the Haunted Mansion. Our tour begins here with this frightfully fun Scotty Young variant. Is this comic actually stretching, or is it just your imagination? Consider this dismaying observation. There is a Haunted Mansion movie currently in production that is slated for a March 10th, 2023 release date. Yep, you heard that right. This may explain why a copy of this variant recently sold for $325 in a 9.8. Now, this series is part of the Disney Kingdom line that Marvel began to produce in connection with Disney. This feature issues wall-to-wall creeps and hot and cold running chills. Definitely one to keep your eyes on as we get closer to the movie's release.
If I recall correctly, I think John Favreau is doing either producing or directing the Haunted Mansion film. If I remember correctly, and if for those our age, remember the Eddie Murphy version of the Haunted Mansion movie. If you guys remember that one, at one point I passed on this and I should have got it. And then at Disney Parks, I think they also had these as Disney Parks exclusives. A different version of it though, and where you see the Disney Parks logo on it. I've shown on my Instagram tons of times. Like I have got Guardians of the Galaxies and some other books that were only sold at the Disney Parks, either at Disney World or at Disneyland, and impossible to find a 9.8 because little kids were just fingering the hell out of them as they flipped through them. You know what I mean? So and luckily my lady is a season pass holder or whatever the hell they are now. So every time I go, I said no. Just get me the comics that have the Disney logo, that has the Disney logo on it. Because now, if you go to like Star Wars Land or the Marvel Land or whatever, they have comics just like you would see at any regular store. But sometimes, every now and then, you'll see a Disney Parks exclusive that you could only buy at the park. So there you go. So well, you go from Evil Ernie to a little scary, right? So let's go to something super heroic.
All right, let's talk about Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars number 7. But double check because this is the Canadian price variant. Marvel Comics 1984. The now infamous original Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars is gaining attention due to the newly announced MCU Avengers film borrowing the title. This issue, number 7, just sold for $900 in a CGC graded 9.8. It's the first appearance of Julia Carpenter, who used the Spider-Woman moniker for about 15 minutes or so. It's also a rare instance where only the Canadian price appears on the cover of a book. In 1982, Marvel and DC began charging more for comics imported into Canada due to an escalating exchange rate. The original Secret Wars numbers 1 through 9 are one of the few Marvel books printed at the time featuring the increased $1 Canadian price, as opposed to the 75 cents that was the price for people in America. This makes a series known for the excitement of its sequels, multimedia adaptations, and fan favorite introductions. We mean the symbiote suit, not Julia, so calm down. Even more curvaceous among speculators and collectors, as the currently forever far away 2015 release date of Avengers Secret Wars approaches at a snail's pace, you can expect a lot more speculation around all things Secret and Wars.
And also the Spider-Woman project that could possibly use an iteration of Julia Carpenter or whatever. I wish Ryan was on the show. Remember, I think on our last show, Ryan was talking about, or in our live chat, he said he had a Canadian variant of Marvel Superhero Secret Wars. So
Yeah, number 1.
I have first appearance of Magic Canadian variant, and I also have the first appearance of Dakota North in a Canadian variant as well. It's just some odd things that you pick up every now and then, but We'll see, man. So if you're north of Canada, go out and snatch them. I wonder if how many what the print runs are for more in Canada. I would ask Aegis Comics of Alaska since he's close, but he came from New York, so what does he know? Shout out to Aegis Comics of Alaska. Yo, man, I need that new shirt. You know what hit me up, brother.
Yo, I ordered that. It's nice.
Yeah, it looks dope.
Ooh.
It looks dope. I need a shirt. Lou. All
Come
right.
on, Lou.
We can't have a shaker show without some type of video game book on here. What do we got this week?
Happy about this one, man. I'm a gamer, so I love this one. Nintendo Power from Nintendo from 1988. Man, I had this whole run, and now I don't have it. It's been a while since we've seen this issue of Nintendo Power hit the Shakers list. The last time this book hit the Shakers list, it was graded as 6.0, and that was back in 2021 with a shattering sales at that time around just under 1,000. But now, record-breaking CGC 8.0 sale of 1,500. This is the second highest graded sale, with the highest sale being that of an 8.5 copy. This new high sale could possibly be attributed to the anticipation of the new Mario movie coming out in 2023. However, the most likely reason is that it's simply a high desirable magazine for many collectors, especially in high grade. So here's the breakdown. There are only 51 CGC graded copies of this book. Over 70% of those submissions are graded lower than 8.0. As far as the high grade, there are 2 copies of an 8.0, 2 copies of an 8.5, and 6 copies of a 9.0, and 2 copies of 9.4, the highest graded. Such a rare find is always good to garner a huge amount of attention from the collectors community that reflects in the boost of this value. And I had this entire run, and I just got rid of it.
Well,
In
this is also
2000, in 2021, there was a high sale of like $3,000 or something, but I think it was in a higher grade. But you remember in 2021, that was the height of
Everything?
of like of what are you
Everything.
the GameStop's things and people dumping that. Remember the
the
GameStop?
GameStop stock.
Yeah, all the GameStop, and then video game. I think video game grading really picked up in the pandemic, right? Prior to that, I don't recall people really grading video games as often. But I'm not any expert in that field, but now it's like full blown, right? I wonder if my PS2s are worth grading. I have some PS2 games, man, and PS1
Wait long enough,
games.
and they will be.
I know, right? Yeah, anything you wait for it long enough, and it'll happen.
They're worth grading if they're sealed.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. I mean,
Yeah.
tell a kid to, you can't open your game. You know what I mean? That's
The
pretty
new
rough.
thing.
Seriously.
Exactly.
So this Nintendo Power, what's interesting about this, I was going to say, is this mirrors what you've been talking about, Tim. And we've been talking about it on the show for a while, of how the video game market kind of mirrors the comic book market. And we've been seeing magazines of comic books like Wizard #1 getting really, really expensive and blowing up. And this is the counterpart to that. Like if you were a video game person at all, this was like Wizard magazine to video game people. Like same with Justin. I had a huge stack of these as a kid. Because
Yeah,
this is where you
this
got
is
all
the
your
only way
interviews
you
and like
get
your
the-
tips and everything was
Yep.
in
The
these
cheat.
magazines.
This is the only way you get the cheat codes, right?
Cheat
Uh,
codes.
Back then, yeah, and that's where you
Yeah,
got
Or-
phone
or was there-
screenshots,
counselors and
maps of
stuff.
everything. It was crazy.
Was there a
Everything was coming
PlayStation
out.
magazine as well?
Yeah,
wanna
there was.
think-
There was a PSN one.
and they
there
had
was-
like the cheat codes up, down, right, left, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I would say when I really started seeing the video game people coming into the comic book industry, it was when the Fortnite variants for DC came out. Remember those? They were on our
Oh,
top
to get
10.
your Batman skin.
Yeah, they were every week they were on their some random DC book was on our top 10 because they just wanted the Fortnite skin. But Marvel is doing it now, but not nearly as well as DC did. Did I just say that? I can't believe I just said that out loud. But hey, I give props to where props is due. Nintendo Power #1 from 1988, 1,500 for an 8.0. So go dig in those old video game stores or wherever and see if you can find a copy. All right, what do we got up next? This one's interesting. It's not what you think it is because it's not really a comic per se.
Yeah, this is another interesting one. RoboCop #1, originally published in 1987 from Marvel. Now, RoboCop is the ultimate 80s movie. It's the over-the-top action scenes, horrific violence, science fiction, fascination with robots, and poignant social exploitation delivers by a typical Paul Verhoeven philosophical satire. Wow, what a sentence. To which a typical audience member and film critic strip down to as, well, cheesy. Even Verhoeven dismissed the initial script by Edward Neumeier and Michael Miner until the satirical element was pointed out to him by his wife. Now, that very element went on to be a common tone across all his future films: Total Recall, Starship Troopers, Basic Instinct, and Showgirls. Despite the misfire of the 2014 reboot, RoboCop is a 1980s icon and has had a huge influence on pop culture, with references across decades worth of content. Now, like many 80s and 90s properties, nostalgia is also a huge driver of collectible purchases and today's most successful content. Now, RoboCop has been named one of the best science fiction films of all time. You ready for this? With a 91% fresh Rotten Tomato rating. Now, the New York Times lists it as one of the top 1,000 best movies ever. Robo has most recently appeared in Ready Player One and as a DLC playable character in 2019's Mortal Kombat 11. Okay, now flash forward a couple of weeks ago, where the gameplay trailer for RoboCop Rogue City was released, and fans went nuts for it. With Peter Weller returning to the role, this game is already being hailed as RoboCop 4 and has risen Robo back into the minds of fans. This has brought forth fan requests of new content on the classic RoboCop we know and love. With that said, his various comic appearances, which have always been super affordable, even ignorable, well, now high-grade copies of his first comic appearance tend to float around $30 raw, yet it was this week's massive high sale of $800 for a CG 9.6 that got our attention. All those combined reasons above are the numerous factors driving up prices for this nostalgia key. Now, the previous high for a CGC 9.6 this past April was $522. So when you see this book out in the wild, you may now be more likely to say, I'd buy that for $1. Sorry, I had to do it.
I know. Somebody beat you to it, though. Uncanny DX Dan with the I'll buy that for $1 post, which is, if you guys remember this movie, it was the giant mecha that he fought was literally, I think, stop motion animation, like Jason of the Argonauts type shit. Do you remember that? I mean, this was...
Yeah, it was basically a toy.
Yeah, and the graphics were pretty cheesy, but it's very interesting. And of course, Detroit is always painted in a bad light. Where's Ryan when you need him? There's two things today that Ryan could have addressed upon. If you
Say his
want
name
to
one more time, he pops up.
Always trash.
I know. If you really here's a really throwback. Okay, before the movie Airplane, the guys that did Airplane did a movie called Kentucky Fried Movie that has a parody of Bruce Lee, and in it, the bad guy says, I don't care. And he's torturing the guy. I'll do anything. He goes, oh yeah, your torture is you're going to Detroit. And he goes, no. It's just like the most random thing ever, man. But this Kentucky Fried Movie is the one that kicked off those parody movies that the guys that eventually ended up doing Airplane. So a little nugget for you. So yeah, man. RoboCop to me seems like the perfect first person shooter. If to play, like he's holding a gun and everything, but very interesting that somebody else had a factoid dude in there said the movie was originally rated X and they had to knock it down to be rated R, which back then wasn't even that bad.
This movie's rough, dude. This is like the first like gory movie I saw as a kid.
Oh, really?
It's basically like murder porn.
Oh, I seen worse in the 80s because I had an older cousin. We would go to a video store and just get these
Faces of Death and stuff.
Oh, Faces of Death was fake, by the way, but it still freaked me out.
Don't ruin it for me.
No, but the horror films in the 80s, they were just like full of gore. It was like after Friday 13th, Halloween and Friday 13th, everybody was a slasher and everything, was up the ante. What's that movie, man, that had the exploding head? You would watch the TV and something would happen and your head would explode. Oh fuck! Somebody in the live chat help me out here. Something.
I was thinking it was UHF with Weird Al, but I don't think that's.
Yeah,
what we're talking
about. No. There was this movie and it was just all gratuitous violence. During a broadcast, you would watch it, and this guy's head would explode. Scanners. There it is. Thank you. I love our live chat. You guys are the best, man. No Marvel, no prizes to all you guys. Scanners was like the shit when we were kids. Like we wanted to see the most goriest shit ever. If you really want to see something crazy, go look up, and it may be on YouTube, the story of Ricky O.
Yeah.
It is this crazy
Ricky O.
Chinese movie with the violence as over the top. Where
That was the movie I thought you were referencing when you were
oh no,
talking
that's
about
the
exploding
famous.
heads.
Here, let me go. That's the famous meme of the guy going like
Yeah,
this,
crushing the
and
head.
then
That's what
smashing
I
the
thought
dude's
you were
head.
talking
Yeah,
about. Yeah.
That's the story of Ricky O, which was a movie that was adapted from, I think it was a manga or something like that, but it was a Chinese film done. The story of Ricky O is definitely something like when we all got together, the kids like, oh damn, Ricky, oh this is crazy, right? And then there's this one scene where the warden is sitting at his desk, and behind him is just a shelf full of porn tapes for no odd reason at all. Because you're looking at it like that looks like the old porn tapes from the '80s. But anyway, I digress. I don't know anything about that. Anyway,
Yeah, you never
RoboCop.
behind
this
the
is this
VHS or the beads on the door.
yeah, this show is definitely not for kids, by the way, if you already surmised that by now. But RoboCop issue number 1 from 1987, selling for a cool 800 bones and a 9.6. It's the magazine now. Remember, it's the Marvel magazine RoboCop. I don't know if they ever did a regular comic, but back in the 80s, Marvel and DC were licensing all kinds of weird properties to be comics. So,
Well, I bet the magazine was used so that they could do more violence in it. You could get away with a magazine as opposed to being a comic book too.
Yeah, getting ready for my whatnot sale with Justin, which we'll talk about later. I found Hobbit #1 comic book. I'm like, I wonder if this is worth anything. Yeah, it's very, very weirdly done. The art is really cool though. But I was like, hey, how did I get this? I was going through my stuff, but. All right, I digress. And as usual, we can't have a Shakers or a top 10 list without Spawn because Spawn fans are fanatical.
All right, Spawn fans. We're talking about Spawn. This is number 306. This is the final combat cover. Image Comics came out in 2020. Due to concerns over the then spreading COVID-19, NetherRealm Studios and Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment made the last-minute decision to cancel the 2020 Last Chance qualifiers for Final Combat 2020. I'm guessing that's a video game competition. This epic Mortal Kombat tournament left many players without a chance to compete for the 16th spot in the tournament and left the finale without a live audience. There are rumors. The tournament then left the finale without a live audience. There are rumors that this exclusive cover was made solely for the players of this tournament and LCQ. If that rumor were true, there would be less than 130 players signed up for the LCQs and 15 pre-qualified finalists. On the opposite side of this theory, the exclusive cover may have been made for every attendee. If this was true, a quick search of the Park West venue indicates a max capacity of 1,000 attendees. Therefore, if we were to speculate on the print run of this book, it would be somewhere in the range of 150 and 1,000. However, this is not indicative of the number of books actually distributed, which could be far less than the actual print run. There is one fact that we do know. There are currently a sparse 9 copies on the CGC census. Of those 7, only 3 are graded at a 9.8, with one of those selling this week for a massive new high of $5,000. The future of this ultra rare cover is sure to continue breaking records unless 1,000 copies pop up suddenly.
That's nuts that this is actually going higher
Wow.
than my Thor 134, Thor 134 9.4 first appearance of the High Evolutionary. This book is more than that, or at least somebody paid more than that. $5,000 and a 9.8. But if you guys recognize the cover, though, that is, I believe, the movie version of Spawn. Which I'm just gonna say, when the Spawn movie came out, boys and girls, we didn't have much. So we had really bad CGI, but we saw flowing cape. We had Michael J. White. But if you really want Spawn, go check out the HBO series. This is a good question. Gabe, do you remember this on the early? I think the first maybe 20 or 50 issues, they used to have these numbers like this sprinkled out.
It was basically Spawn's like power meter.
That's right.
which
Because the more,
was just
the
random.
more he uses
Like, even
power,
Todd
the
McFarlane said like we
yeah,
don't know how it worked. They were just putting random numbers in there.
yeah.
It's just power gauge.
Yeah, that's why he started using guns a lot because he had a finite amount of power. So, I think that's changed since then. So obviously, there's different iterations of Spawn, but but it was interesting to say the least and groundbreaking. That a Image comic became a movie. There's been cartoons, Spawn, the animated series. Hell, there was a Wildcats cartoon animated series, but
Yep.
there was a.
It's got the best opening music ever.
Yeah. Crow, independent comic that was made into a movie. Unfortunately, Brandon Lee passed away during the filming of that. But all right, Spawn 306. If you have it, Final Combat 2020 came out 2020, sold for $5,000 in a 9.8. I think it's another book we need proof of life of. To see if the print run is what they said anywhere from 100 to 1,000. That's still pretty damn low for any comic, but. All right, this is a book that I've been specking on for a while. I have a copy, and I was like, you know what, you guys should be snapping this up.
Yeah, how about Shazam number 25 from DC Comics from 1976? So there's been a myriad of controversy surrounding the slate of films and shows going to be released from Warner Brothers. As a result, the recent news of Batgirl being canceled after being nearly completed is shaking the industry and leading to a lot of uncertainty. Luckily, fans of DC have had a solid projects to look forward to for the upcoming Black Adam film. Isis, who first appears in this book, is set to appear in the movie played by Sarah Sheeney and is the wife of Black Adam in the comics. Uncertain fans have still moved to pick up her first appearance, recently paying top dollar for a CGC 9.6, dropping $660 to secure a copy. Sales in this grade have been rising of this book for the last year, and after holding steady at around $250 for some time, with the news The Rock signed up to a 10-picture deal and the recent teaser dropped at San Diego Comic-Con, fan excitement is pretty high, leading to some speculation Isis will be a bigger player in the future. No one knows yet where she fits into the larger DCEU, but that hasn't stopped fans from putting stock into this interesting character with the powers of the goddess Isis.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, that name has been co-opted by terrorism, but Isis is the goddess of fertility, also known as the goddess of motherhood, magic, death, healing, and rebirth. Wow, that's a little bit of everything. But yeah, I'm old enough to remember the Isis TV show. Do you remember that? Do you remember there was a live-action Isis show? And because there was a live-action Shazam show as well. It was Billy Batson and there's like a couple other people riding around in like a RV around the country.
Right? Yeah.
But there was also an ISIS live action TV show that came out of that. So it's pretty interesting, man. So definitely pick this up because I'm pretty sure there'll be some prizes and we'll talk about it later. But there's some interesting things coming down the pipeline at DC and it doesn't look good on the DC film side, unfortunately. So Shazam, issue number 25 from 1976, 660 bones for 9.6. All right, don't go away, boys and girls. We got this last one, then we're going to see what's shaking today.
Definitely. So this is the last one on the list tonight. We've got Submariner, issue number 59, originally published in 1973 from Marvel Comics. And thanks to the admittedly heartbreaking trailer for the continuation of a Dead Man's franchise, suddenly everyone is in love with Namor. Now, this book, 1973 Submariner number 59, just sold for a whopping $1,950 in a CGC graded 9.8. In this issue, Namor enters New York to rescue a wrongly captured Atlantean girl, and Thor confronts him. They fight, as seen by this awesome cover. Namor returns to Atlantis to consider a full-scale invasion of the surface world. It's cool. They eventually end up Avengers together. Now, issues where A-list characters meet and fight are collectors' favorites, just as any Silver or Bronze Age Hulk versus Thing back issue. And with Namor's star on the rise, this issue is one of those books. An added cool factor of this particular issue is that it was written by the legendary Bill Everett, the fella who created Namor in 1939. Now, Tinoch Huerta shall be playing Namor in the MCU's forthcoming Wakanda Forever, and Tinoch Huerta shall be playing Namor in the MCU's forthcoming Wakanda Forever, and he appears in the aforementioned trailer. baby Namor being born with the little wings on his ankles. What'd you guys think of that? Anyway, Namor will be the star of many future record high sales, to be sure. So listen, somebody's got to say this, and I'm happy it's me. Namor's creation also predates Aquaman by about 2 years. So go spend all your money on Namor books. In your face, Jason Momoa.
Damn, like that?
Yeah.
I was skeptical on Tenoch Huerta as Namor, but the way they put it on film and his headdress and everything, I'm like, yo,
Yeah, he's dope.
people are, it's not Atlantean, blah, blah, blah. First of all, he's a mutant because he's half human and he has wings. None of the other Atlanteans have wings on their ankles and have white skin as opposed to blue skin. That's what made him the first mutant, and I don't know if they eventually changed that, but the whole thing about Atlantis, I don't really bother me because you know what, Aquaman came out first, and so I don't think Marvel's gonna say, hey, we have an Atlantis too. That's not their MO. You know what I'm saying? So I just think it's gonna be a little bit different, and embrace different. It could be dope, and because I was thinking, Tenoch is kind of a small dude, but in the trailer it looked like he packed on some pounds, man. So shout out to him, man. So Submariner issue number 59 from 1973. Is this the first meeting of Thor and Namor? It is, right?
I don't know if it said first meeting.
I think it's just a cool fight cover that they did the Hulk and Thing
Yeah.
covers.
Yeah,
Namor is also the first superhero to ever fly.
Yeah, because
Nope.
Superman
Beating out
only
Shazam
leapt
and
tall
Superman.
buildings in a single bound. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the first one to fly.
Well, didn't Human Torch fly?
Namor was first, I think.
Yeah, because Namor came out before then. There you go. So there you go. Dropping that knowledge on you, son. So let's go see what's shaking today, boys and girls, shall we? Seamless transition. But
Seamless.
we'll give you guys a little break to see what's shaking today as we hear from our sponsor, MySlabs.
The platform designed by collectors for collectors just got even better. MySlabs.com is proud to now feature dedicated sections for both raw cards and raw comic books. Browse over 100,000 slab collectibles, authenticated by the industry's most trusted grading companies. Then check out a massive selection of sealed wax and now raw singles and raw lots. Join a passionate, no-nonsense community of nearly 50,000 members and enjoy some of the best buyer and seller protection in the business. And as always, MySlabs offers one of the most disruptive pricing models in the hobby, with seller fees as low as only 1%. So the next time you're forced to pay 10%, 20%, or more to sell something from your collection, head over to MySlabs.com, the low-fee marketplace, by collectors, for collectors.
All right, ghouls and gals, let's see what's shaking today as we go over to the CovrPrice website. You can sign up for $6.99 a month to get all your... Oh, I got
Do you have any
three
wrenches in the chat? There's a bunch of spam.
Oh, let's get rid of that.
Yeah, somebody here remove, hide user from channel. Bye.
There
It
you
was
go.
nice knowing you.
You're gone.
They are
All
the
right,
best.
back
I
to
wanted that
dating
best
site.
dating site, bro.
Man,
Let
what
me
are
get
you
that
doing?
website.
Yeah, send me that link, son.
Yeah. Usual suspects on there. Giant size X-Men creeping up.
Haven't seen that Wolverine or that Hulk
Well,
340 on the top row.
Come on, let's see that Wonder Woman cover. That's some crazy. Every time we see a crazy Wonder Woman cover,
Yeah. Was she fighting a hog or
Well,
something?
she's
Beat
got
the
like
guy with a hog.
she's beating him with a hog.
Innuendo. Oh, I have this.
Oh,
to log
what
in.
the-
Oh, excuse me.
Whoa,
Oh,
wait a
now you know
minute.
my password.
His password is password.
Password
Exactly,
is
yeah.
password.
Yeah, I'm an IT person, so it's I'm the worst person with passwords. Yeah.
All right, back
let's
to the
go.
shakers.
All right. Yeah. Wonder Woman, number 8 from 1944. That's wild. 1850 for a raw dog.
Good
Highest low value
Lord.
is 17 grand and a 9.6. Time machine
Wow.
stuff.
That's
Time
great.
machine.
Yeah.
Look at you showing off on top row again.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, I'm just gonna say, we'll give
All right,
Aquaman some love since we gave Namor a due amount of love. Aquaman number 11 from 1960. First appearance of Mira.
Oh wait, let me see the cover
$750
again
in a $750 in the 7.0, 2,100 in the 8.5. Contrary to what people are
8.5.
thinking, I do believe she is appearing in the show in the Aquaman 2 trailer
No
from
way.
the guest showings, but
They're
you know,
cutting her out of there.
I don't. You know what? Hey man, whatever two people do, that's their business. All these people taking sides and shit. It's like, hey man, they're both crazy, and let them do what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? It's not up to me to judge. Who am I to judge, right? Because I own a lot of Ultimate Fallouts. Look at that.
Ooh. Is- what was the difference between those two? Those two look alike.
Well, one is raw.
Is one the Mexican shiny variant?
Is that the
No.
mole variant? Is
Let's
that
see.
the mole?
No, one is the newsstand, and one is direct stand.
Oh, one sold for raw cop. Okay, one sold raw,
one sold for raw, one sold for a graded. My bad. Yeah. Punter.
That first Bullseye, man, that's gonna be a book soon. Not that
Yeah.
that Daredevil film's coming out.
Because the
or
Daredevil is
series.
coming back, Although they did Bullseye pretty good. I thought in the Daredevil Netflix series. I thought they
We
did
need
it pretty
more.
good.
We need better.
Yeah. Hey, I got this as well. What's this about?
That's the
This is a
second.
dope cover. He is choking her with a blow dryer. That's wild.
Man.
It's like the third.
Of
Frank
all the
Miller
weapons
issue
you
or
choose,
something.
he goes, I'm going to take this blow dryer and I'm just going to choke the hell out of you. Wow, we haven't seen something killing the children in quite a long time.
Right.
So
Little Journey into
Thor,
Mystery?
look at that. That's dope. Journey in Mystery number 86. First appearance of Odin.
Odin.
$400 in a raw, 10 grand in a 9.8.
Whoa, 9.8. Wow.
Wow. Are you
Jesus.
shitting me?
That's time machine stuff right there. Look at this gorgeous Frazetta cover. Oh my god. Love these Vampirellas.
Wow.
This only book that I want is Vampirella number 1. That's the only thing that's really on my want list right now. $350 in 9.0, $18.50 for a. And if you look at
9.8.
here, let me just pull up the series
I
because
think they keep reusing that cover on different magazines. 'Cause I'm
Yeah,
pretty
I
sure
just-
I have that on Heavy Metal magazine.
I just think
I
this
just want this
cover is just so awesome. I mean, just how the dopeness of it. I need this in my collection. And it's pretty pricey. It looks
Ooh,
like
man, it is
9,000 and a
pricey.
9.6. Oh
Well,
boy,
that's one of those books that
Trade that
even on
car in
here
for
you
it.
can't even find a picture of it in good shape.
exactly. Hey, I have like multiples of this. That's right. I own 3 of them. $353. Highest known value $2,700 and a 9.8.
And it's not even a key? What's up with that?
Maybe a first appearance of his astral form or something along those lines. I have to remember.
It's just a dope Steve Ditko as well. I mean, you can't
Oh
go
yeah,
wrong with that.
this
Steve
whole
Ditko is
run is just full of dope covers, man. But I'm still partial to Frank Bruner myself, to be honest with you. As far as Doctor Strange I think Bruner did the best Doctor Strange covers. I mean, because I think he was definitely on acid when he did them. But there's some
He's
dope
dropping
themes.
acid.
Hey, I have this too.
Get out of here with that.
Yep. Raw Dog, $346.
Get out of
thinks-
here with that.
Methinks this might be for sale on Saturday. Oh,
Nice.
so you never know. Werewolf by Night picking up some steam because of the Halloween special.
You're crushing this Shakers list right now. Holy
Yeah,
moly.
I only have this in an 8.0 though. I don't have a high grade.
Only in an 8.0.
9.4 is $5,000. I was collecting all these horror books when I knew that they were going to start doing horror themed things. I also have this and I have this.
I need this book. I don't know why, but
this
this
is
is
like pop
eluded
art.
me for so long.
This is like pop art, dude. This
Oh,
is yeah.
Just the
First
inside first page is just this dope Loki sitting on the throne from
yeah.
John Buscema. It's great.
First Battle, Silver Surfer's First Thor, classic cover by John Buscema. $300 in a 1.5, 90 grand in a 9.8, dude. 90 grand.
Wild.
Wow.
Yeah, this is
90.
that Silver Surfer series. Like the first 4 or 5 issues are 5 or 6 issues are just huge.
Yeah,
Huge,
because
huge.
right before this is the first appearance of Mephisto. So we
Yeah,
all
Yeah,
know.
you got
three's-
Mephisto.
yeah,
You got
three's
the number
Mephisto.
1. Number 2 is the first Badoon nobody cares about, but watch them
Yeah.
show up sooner or later.
Holy Shadowhawk. We have a Shadowhawk appearance
What?
on here.
What the
Shout out
heck?
to Jim Valentino and creating a character that has AIDS and breaks your back.
Yeah, $290 for a 9.8. But this
Time to
is
go
the,
digging.
I
This
have
is
one.
the-
of
Digging
those.
for some shadow.
I think
I got
this is
all
the
that
different
launch
cover
stuff.
though. This is
There's no
like
way
the
you're popping a 9.8 in that.
Yeah, I think this is like the all black cover or something like that. 'cause
No,
if you know-
it's a raised hollow foil.
Oh, okay.
cover,
So
and then
maybe,
the newsstand doesn't have the hollow foil. It's just like the
yeah,
gray tone.
newsstand is trash. It's only like $2.40. Holy cow. $2.40. Tank Girl on there. I remember there's another movie that was slept on when it first came out. Do you remember the Tank Girl movie? Came
Yeah.
out. G.I. Joe, good to see that book bumping. I always said that these sensational She-Hulk runs where she breaks the fourth wall are going to start getting hot. This is, of course, John Byrne doing his thing on this run because she breaks the fourth wall in the TV show.
Tivo,
So
what's the over and under, and how many times she's going to do it per episode?
Uh-huh.
Is it going to be?
Man. I think it's
is
going
it
to be
gonna
every
just
episode.
once, or
I
is it
think it's
going to be
every episode
it's gonna
where
be
she
like
breaks the fourth
3
wall?
or 4
Yeah.
times per episode that she's doing?
No,
At
I think
at
it's
least a
just,
few times.
yeah, at least a few times every episode.
How many times
like,
does
every
Deadpool do it in a
episode.
scene? So yeah.
Exactly, yeah. This book is eluded to me in a 9.8. Impossible to find. At least every
Impossible.
time I grade it. The cover is so flimsy. Speaking of She-Devil, there she is again, breaking the fourth wall on her own comic. Okay, now is your second chance. If you don't buy my book this time, I'm gonna come to your house and rip up all your X-Men. It's such awesome. This is when John Byrne was one of my favorite artists back in the day. Look at
Who's well known for his X-Men runs.
What?
on that
I've
cover
never
before.
seen
was
this
crazy.
before.
I've never
What
seen
if-
this book.
Yeah, what
Never
if Beast
seen
and
that.
his
Oh,
thing
dude,
continued
that's
to
nightmare
mutate?
fuel right there.
Wow.
Wow.
That's dope
Yeah.
though. You got a Beast. That's a really gnarly looking thing, and then
Continue to mutate.
maybe Silver Surfer. Yeah, that's Silver Surfer.
Graded 9.8, sold for $225. I think they're in the expectation of What If Season 2. I have a full-on think that they're going to drop some What If Season 2 stuff on during D23. Speaking of Sensational She-Hulk, here's, Art Germ. Not bad at all. Kind of in her business attire there. Warlock. Don't sleep on those Warlock books, man. Is this the Error variant? Is this the one?
That's the first print. It looks like.
Oh yeah, because there's other prints. Yeah, there's other prints too. The Finish edition, 370, 198 has a far market value for those folks in Finland. But this is the one here. I think is the one
I
that's
think that's like
sought
the
after.
third print. Yeah.
Yeah, third
Yeah,
print.
it's
Yeah,
crazy to find.
yeah. Crazy. Red Hulk, and I don't know how long
Spider-Punk.
we've been talking about Spider-Punk, man. But
He's
this
only on the
isn't-
cover.
This isn't even his first appearance, but it's still dope. I always say Oliver Koppel, or is it Olivier
Coipel.
Coipel? Is he French?
Yes.
Oh, so it's Olivier then.
Olivier.
Boom, nailed it.
Coipel.
That's right. I nailed it. Boom. Yeah, but there's been confirmation that he's going to be Hubie Brown or Hobart Brown is going to be in
Hobie Brown.
Hobie Brown is going to be in the Across the Universe,
Hey.
Across the Spider-Verse. Excuse me. I missed.
Question for you guys. We all know that there's a Galactus error variant in the Secret Wars 1, but everybody I talk to has that. I feel like that the Galactus in regular color seems to be the more rarer one.
Yeah, I read an article saying that was just kind of a misnomer. Like it's
It's
really
just a
just not
misnomer.
much of an error. It's supposed to be.
Well, here it
that
is
way.
right here. Is this what you're talking about?
Yeah, blue Galactus error.
So there's a newsstand and the rec stand. So Galactus is blue on the inside, which I guess, if you want to think. To me, like errors on covers to me seem more to be, valuable than something on the inside panel. Like I have a Dazzler issue. I'm gonna stop sharing now, boys and girls. I have a Dazzler issue where like one of the pages is black and white or something like that on Dazzler number 1. It's not sought after until
It
Dazzler
depends on what
proves
it is, because if it's just like an error, like because we screwed up and the coloring was off, that happens a lot, and they recall them, and then no one cares. But when it's something where it's like, we had to recall it because
We had to recall it because somebody wrote a
fuck
dirty message in the
Batman book?
background.
Yeah. What was that famous Marvel book where
Right?
they ripped
He
it to
cussed out somebody in the books names.
Yeah,
in the
in
background.
code even. Yeah.
Yeah, they write it like on
That's
the back of the spine of like books on the shelf in the
Yeah.
background. But one was laughing about Bob Harris getting fired. from
Yeah,
Marvel
That was
exactly,
one of the
Comics.
stories on
Yeah.
our show.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it for the show, Gabe. Any last words?
Everybody, thanks for showing up. See you next Thursday. Enjoy your weekend.
All right.
Yeah.
JB, any last words?
Yeah, man. Thanks. Another fantastic offer list tonight, and look forward to seeing everybody next Thursday.
And Justin, any last words?
Yeah, I can't believe it's been a week since I've been on this show. I feel like Shager's show was literally yesterday, but it must be a drunken weekend. So Trying to get my
It
voice
was for
back
you.
here.
Yeah, you missed the Tuesday show because you didn't have a voice.
Yeah, I'm still trying to get over it. Still sound like nasally. It's been wild. I had like the little girl voice on Monday. So yeah, you know me, Comic-Con podcast dropping Friday mornings, and Nemesis_Prime Instagram for Whatnot shows this weekend, possibly a fifth one with Mr. Tim up there. So
I'm gonna sell some stuff with Justin on Saturday. He has much more followers than I do, so apparently they have the ability to do two things, and we'll probably do a test later tonight. I'm gonna preview some of the stuff I have. I got some
show it off.
I gotta get back
stuff
on
like-
Whatnot.
stuff
Show
like
it
this.
off.
Oh,
I think it's dope.
I have an entire run of like Frank Miller Daredevil that's almost complete.
Dibs.
following me, man. Nemesis
I
Prime.
got some
Look at the
Moon
splat
Knight.
lights, dude. Look at that. That's awesome.
splats. Let me see what else. Maybe some I have a Last Canaan run.
Ooh.
So, for what that's worth.
Nice.
Before I leave.
And this is
you
on
be
Saturday?
Worthy. Yes, it lights up.
It lights up.
I was expecting it to break apart and come back together.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. But yeah, my lady got this for me at Disneyland. She's like, yeah, that's right.
They're
I
selling
am
a
worthy.
million of those a day.
I am worthy. Too bad it doesn't crackle though. Well, what are you gonna do?
Oh wait, well, look what I got. I got one too.
Uh-oh.
Ugh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I can't.
Oh,
What's going
he's
on
got
here?
the one
Everyone's gotta
before it's
grab their
fractured.
Mjolnir.
Oh man.
I got the comic book one. This is a old school. Like,
So you have the one that actually has a saying on it, right?
Yeah.
Read what it says.
whoever
If
holds
they-
the hammer, if he be worthy, shall possess the power of Thor.
That's cool.
I guess we're both Thors because we're both wielding them. There you go. All right, boys and girls. Until next time, but keep digging in them long boxes, and we'll see you Tuesday for the Cover Price Top 10. But you may see me hop on Whatnot with Justin on Saturday. So make sure you follow Justin and Lords of the Long Box on Whatnot. But follow Justin. He's already got a ton of followers. So until next time, boys and girls, keep digging in them long boxes. Peace. Outie. So I find the outro. Let's go.
Shake and bake and pull it back.
Oh my god.
Hold on and get some, boys. In the great hall of the Justice League, there are assembled the world's three greatest heroes, created from the cosmic legends of the universe. Their mission, to fight injustice, to right that which is wrong, and to serve all mankind.
Now that's a name I've not heard.
In this, you shall know that the Lord is upright.
Shake and bake and pull it back.
In this, you shall know that the Lord is upright. In this, you shall know that the Lord is upright. Go on and get some, boys.
Jack, here's the deal. I'm the best there is.
In this, you shall know that the Lord is upright.
What's in the box?